Hello and welcome to this second session of Undying Plague Empire. We have our two, the players of our two of our undead friends from last week, and a news face here with Asher. So the first thing we're going to do is to create a character for you, Asher. And you did you have a look at the symbol?
Yeah, so it looks like
It's a kind of a seer
thing
yeah.
you were saying.
Yeah, which is apparently also a thing in Twin Peaks or something. What was that, Paul?
No, not in Twin Peaks, in 40 Towers.
Oh.
They're very different TV shows.
Twin Peaks and Fawlty Towers are usually not in the same sentence.
I'd love to see a mashup of the two, though. I think it'd be amazing.
Yeah, it came with up here first. Trademark. And the Puppet Master, you also thought about, like, have you decided on a thing that you would like to?
Yeah, I think I'll just do the symbol since I started putting it in the character sheet already.
Okay, yeah, cool. So let's see. I'm gonna find the right thing on my screen to get through character creation with you here. So yeah, the first thing is to put your character's heritage, let's say your background and culture, and then also look. Choose that. The symbol's also like a female character, only female character.
Who do I choose that from?
Or gender neutral, I guess, is also, as long as they're like, I don't know. They're supposed to be women selected by Apollo, so female looking, I guess, female presenting.
All right, maybe we can use symbol from Fawlty Towers.
Yeah, there you go.
That crossover.
Yeah, did you find your character sheet?
Yeah, but it doesn't have options there, right? It just says heritage, maker, look.
Yeah. So okay, so if you let's see, I'm just gonna find the symbol here. Here it is. Yes. Yeah, I guess you just decide how they look yourself. Or is there options here? Let's see. No options. Yeah, so as a basic thing for your probably information that would be useful for your character creation is that we're playing in a setting. It's in Rome. Let's see, was it 162 AD or something like that? 117 AD. It's a lot of that's the era we're playing in. The Roman Empire is the territorial expansion on. We're at the apex of the Roman Empire, pretty much. This is as big as it's going to be in about. It's not a lot of years until it will be invaded by barbarians. The barbarian invasion will start in just like 5-6 years. Pretty much we're in like around the year zero. Year zero equivalent of like I don't know, 90s US, I guess, in a way. Before things went to hell. The Roman Empire, it stretches through Syria, Cappadocia, Armenia, pretty much, so all the Middle East, and also what is later to become the Byzantine Empire. So that should maybe inform how you, at least some of the look and heritage possibly here.
I don't know a huge amount about Rome, but I can imagine. Are there like class distinctions?
Yes, it's a part of your later creation as well as
Okay.
a vampire, because you can either be
Plebeian
yeah,
or pariah.
and you're probably like pretty newly created. So if you were like a poor or at least not very resourceful person, that could be different, of course. It also might reflect the status within vampire society. It doesn't have to, but let's see. Yeah, so pretty much it says for look, let's just write down a few salient features, and then for heritage is your culture, ethnicity. You know, it's like it's a pretty big empire, so it's quite like ethnically diverse. Our crew is as well. I guess we had some people from around the empire.
Well, that's true. I just put Ryan, so
That's fine.
I'll verify that a little. I will do like an Armenian.
And when you've done that, it's you choose your social class, which would normally be plebeian, or well, it would be plebeian or pariah. So the plebeian is the, I guess, working class in a way in the vampire society. It's you're at the bottom of the society that has privilege in a way. The pariah doesn't have any. They don't have any hunting grounds, so they have to go hunt on other people's areas, which is very unsafe. So yeah, but the plebeian has their own feeding grounds. So yeah.
I'll do pariah. It seems like it'll put me more in contact with other characters, at least.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, you work yourself upwards. So pretty much you're an outcast. We have replaced one pariah with another, it seems here.
Yeah.
The next thing you'll do is to choose your starting humanity. It's either humane, callous, or monstrous. This determines the humanity trait and also the max blood. So the less human you are, the more blood you have. But also the vampire. This game is pretty much quite centered around trying to the undead trying to keep their humanity. So if they lose their humanity, they just become monsters and become unplayable. So pretty much, if you're anything less than, you can become the stage after monsters is lost, and when you're lost, you give your character up to the GM. So yeah, as Jim was saying earlier, it might be a good idea to not start out as monsters, possibly, because after each session we will have a vote. If you
Sorry.
based on the way you acted, if you're becoming less or more human, pretty much, and if you become lost, then by character.
I guess the interesting balancing act though about the game is you're trying to like retain your humanity, but the more
blood.
monstrous you are, the more blood you get, so the more powerful things you can do.
Yeah.
Are you trying to really mechanically? Are you trying to retain your humanity, or just not lose it? Like it seems like becoming lost. You're out of the game. But if you stay monstrous, or like the whole time, like do you lose anything, like mechanically? I mean, you do thematically, and you can't get down with the prey as easily.
Yeah, I mean, you lose if you look at the moves. There's some. I'm pretty sure there's some how was that thing worked? I think if you look at captivate, for example, you lose you're less good at
That's one
captivating. Yeah,
one of the ones I was thinking about actually, where you lose as you become less human.
yeah, and also like the game kind of pushes you towards being more monstrous, as Paul said, because it's a great mechanical advantage to have more blood. And sure, this game is diceless, so how you do things is by spending blood. So blood is power, pretty much.
And there's like a betting component.
Yes, it is. When you do when you fight other vampires, you pretty much play poker with blood. So the one who bets most blood wins the fight. And you can die in fights, so it's pretty serious. And then there's also meddle, which is like a way of interfering in other people's machinations.
Okay,
Just
I think I'll do
How do you-
Callus.
Would you say, Asher?
I think I'll choose Callus because I can't imagine a pariah staying perfectly humane.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, you said something, Jim?
I was just noticing one of my moves, which is sacrifice to the dark forces or whatever, requires blood offerings, and they say like a good offering is 50 blood. How could I offer more blood than I can hold in myself? Do I keep a bunch of blood reservoirs around me, and in the middle of that move, in the middle of my dark power move, drain them so I can offer it?
Yeah, or offer it in their human form.
I'm sorry, what?
Or offer it alive, I guess.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you just take a whole body and they've got like 5 blood in them, right? So
Yes.
Huh.
Possibly.
Could they say
So
burn down a bathhouse or something like that?
yeah, maybe. Well, sure. That's also a possibility. So, and then once you choose your social class, now you're starting humanity. You exchange. So another thing, another like currency, I guess, in the game is debt. So all the vampires, they're very ingrained in the social structure of the vampires. So everyone owes somebody something and is owed something. So now, if you look at in Roll20, there is a relationship map, which used to be super understandable, but now has also PCs in them. But you see all the NPCs there. The Princep, who is you see also the ranks under. So the Princep is the one who is in charge in the Vampire Society in Rome, where we're playing Augustus, and then you see all the other NPCs around here, except Lucius, who died last time, gotten ripped apart by the Wolfy vampire. So the thing you decide on now is who do you owe a major debt to. So this could be, I guess maybe we could also just introduce shortly the player characters here, actually. You want to go first, Jim? Who is Jacobus?
Sure. Let me bring him up. So Jacobus has a pretty straightforward old Roman heritage. While he's not of patrician class, he can trace his gens, his family, back to the Republic. And so he was a centurion, which I found that as sort of a kind of a broad class of officers. So he wasn't like a top level centurion, but he was a kind of a mid to lower level centurion out in the provinces. He has he had a home in Rome. His wife, and I guess he must have a kid, is still there. He can make blood slaves, and he has two. One is another centurion who ended up disappearing at around the same time, and another one is a woman from the an Egyptian woman that had been a friend when he was alive. He was made by Horatius, and I think he owes a big debt to Augustus, a major debt to Augustus, and also has an unresolved. He was going to at the end of at when we broke off, he was going to bring some prey to Augustus, but that never got finished. Is there more I need to say?
That's fine. And Paul, tell us about beautiful Sergius.
Yeah, I'm playing Sergius, the sensualist, who is a beautiful, young, androgynous-looking man who was a courtesan before he was turned. He was turned by Tullius. And Tullius was a vampire who used to visit the bathhouse, the public bathhouse that Sergius worked in, picked up his clients, basically. And Tullius basically kind of fell in love with Sergius and wanted to keep him young for eternity, so turned him into a vampire. And that's been very confusing and painful for Sergius, and he's only just beginning to come to terms with that. He is humane. He's still trying to hang on to his humanity. He's in denial almost of the fact that he's been turned. And yeah, he owes a major debt to, who was it now? Let me look at my notes. A major debt to Claudia, who is a patrician, because she saved his life from Lucius, who is the pack leader. But Lucius is now dead, so that that rivalry is no longer there, which also means that Tullius and Larcia, who were in Lucius's pack, they're now leaderless. So I wonder what's going to happen there. That's pretty much it for Sergius. Oh, the other thing I forgot to mention about Sergius, he had a debt from Heliodorus, who was Jim's character from last year, where I was basically was the guardian of his sister, and she was staying at my house. So that's something that could be interesting.
Yeah. So what happened last time was pretty much that Lucius, our nightly creatures here found Lucius threatening Claudia at the knife point, and Heliodorus tore his head off and fed on him, which is something that is not allowed in the rules of the vampires. So that's in the context where you're now injected Sporia. So which predator do you owe a major debt, Sporia?
That's one of the main people here.
Yeah, it can be anyone that's on the map, pretty much. So the major players here is pretty much Rufus, Augustus, and Claudia. And then also, of course, our player characters are also good options, I think.
Okay. Yeah, it might be interesting to do one of the players. I was thinking about using one of the players' makers.
Oh yeah, that's
I
cool.
don't know how interesting that would be.
So Tullius is my maker.
But Tullius was involved with Lucius.
Yeah, who's now dead. He was in
Lucius.
his pack.
So that seems like a good triangle
So this
thing.
pack is now free.
Yes.
Yeah, so let's go with Tullius. It seems interesting.
Yeah, you owe him a major debt. What is it that you owe him? For what? What did he do to deserve this debt?
Well, I don't have my own hunting grounds, so maybe he helped me get out of trouble when I was like feeding on someone else's.
Yeah, maybe even his hunting ground.
Right.
That's cool. Also, now that there's hunting ground free. Just saying. Because
That's
you know
good.
Lucius is dead.
Okay, I see. Yeah.
Okay, so I think I'm gonna make a different color one for you because let's see. What? Put you up here.
Are the purple things people owe others?
Yes.
And the blue are the other way.
No, it's just the blue ones were small debts, minor debts.
Oh, I see.
But I'm just going to, because it's gonna be so messy with all these. One day, Roll20 will do like a thing where you can do actual relationship maps, but it's not gonna happen so soon. I think someday I'm gonna just get tired of it and start using a real software. Let's see. Let me feed on his hunting ground.
And then do other people make bonds with me? Or debts?
Yes, we will get to it. So
I owe Lucius. Tullius.
Yeah, but now you're under their thumb. So Tullius is actually, people owe him. You also owe him a little bit, Sergius. Which predator owes you a minor debt? The minor debt is usually like business as usual. So, for example, you did something for them, like bought them. Like the one that you see, the ones that they had here was that let's Jacobus take a bath once in a while and then supplies Heliodorus with swords, which is pretty. Or gave them advice or something like that. You're a Sybil, so that could be a thing, like foresaw something. Did a reading on them.
Yeah, I think that would make sense for Jacobus.
Cool.
Jacobus.
Jacob.
What did you what did you see in his future?
Well, I feel like Augustus is demanding, so maybe it's some way to like deal with him.
Yeah, that's cool because
Jacobus like the leader of all of this. Maybe I see some interaction that they have together.
I'm not. Are you still formulating? Because I don't quite get a picture there.
Yeah, I'm still thinking about it.
Yeah, so to give context there, Jacobus, you owed at least until maybe the first scene in this or second scene in this thing that you owe him Augustus a big debt.
I don't think bringing him lunch counts as erasing a major debt.
I mean, he did say so. So
He did.
yeah, but I mean,
Oh my gosh, I missed that. Oh my, that's huge.
it
See,
is,
I've read a bit more of the book now, so yeah, that's huge.
but it's also a huge sacrifice, right? So I mean, if you wanted to, what would you go to Spuria for reading before doing this? What was it that you were looking for?
Um, hmm. Um, um, well, I'll just be all mysterious since anyway, it's an oracle. Um, um, Early on in my um, career as a predator, sort of before before I settled into being a nightmare, I um, asked the Sibyl's help on how I could um, make it as a predator and still keep my secret without saying what my secret is.
Oh, yeah, that's nice. So the Sybil is the one to blame for your monstrosities.
Well, so I'll just say that the Sybil told me to to that you can work you as a nightmare you can work your will without relying on your relying so much on your physical form.
Or at least that was what you interpreted of the Sybil's readings.
Sure. Does that sound good, Asher? Because this is really your thing, not mine.
Yeah, I can imagine that in cards somehow, right? Like you have to like go past your physical being, you know, and make your own way.
Cool. And then lastly, you will choose who is your maker. So the one who created you.
Who is everybody else? Like, should I choose one that's the same, or
You
I guess it doesn't
can.
matter.
You don't have to. The maker of Jacobus is Horatius, and the maker of Sergius is Tullius.
Asher, I realized that I kind of nailed you down a little bit with my filling in our my debt to you. So let me explain that. I've been a vampire. I've been a predator for about 15 years. So if that's okay with you, you would have been active as a Sybil at least 15 years ago.
That's okay. I think I just like go in and out, right? Because I'm a.
Okay, I know that you were kind of interested in playing sort of a newbie character, so I just wanted to be clear that you've been around about as much as me or more.
Yeah, you didn't have to be a vampire though. You could also be been a human or just a
Oh, you
regular.
could have been a Sybil when you were a human, and it just like went with you. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
if you wanted to.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a big thing, like in ancient Rome, like kind of prophets and seers and oracles, wasn't it? So
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just also imagining being a vagrant, so I wasn't always available, you know. Maybe I should do Rufus since I'm right next to it.
Yeah. I mean,
Keep
Rufus
them
is.
out simple.
Yeah. Also, he was the maker of Heliodorus, which is now on trial
Cool.
for drinking another vampire's blood.
But none of the players are Heliodorus right now.
yeah, that was Jim's character in the last game. I don't know. Is he actually in any more sessions?
No.
No. Okay. So he's pretty much an NPC now then.
Yeah, or the subject of the first scene. Who knows?
Yeah. Okay.
Cool. So, what would have happened? Yeah. Also, after you, let's see. I'm just gonna. Okay. So, after now that you've chosen your maker, you also have to choose if you're rebellious or docile. So, if you're rebellious, I will create a grudge for your maker that's aimed at you, so that you're their rival. If not, you will owe them a minor debt, which is that they give you tutelage, have given you tutelage in the vampire ways.
Yeah, I'll say I'm docile. That seems more interesting.
Cool. So that's the character creation. I'll kickstart now with the first scene, I think. Is there anything else? Anything someone wants to?
Do I write that with my maker? So it would be Rufus docile. Or...
I'm writing that they have, you owe them a minor debt and that it's tutelage.
Okay.
So before we start, is there any wishes for this session that things you're curious to see? I heard some things already, like what happens with Marcella, and the power vacuum now that Lucius is gone. Is there anything else you're curious to see in this session? Also, yeah, the last conclusion of what happens with the handover to Augustus for Jacobus.
Well, I'm not sure how much this is in your hands. Or, no, I guess, I mean, I'm, as you say that, like I start strategizing about what I want to do, but that's actually,
yeah, you can do that.
Better for me not to talk
play.
about.
Yeah.
More interesting for me not to talk about.
Sure. Cool. I think I'm gonna at least play the first few scenes now, I think, and then we'll have a small break. But we'll do some quick scenes first, I think, to get going. Also, there's a kitty there, so that's great. I think well, first, actually, you also have to have blood, Asperia. You start with blood equal to your humanity +7. So you can note that down. The rest of you just keep the blood you have from last time. So, yeah, it's the next evening after our the action or the events of our last session. After the killing of Lucius, there was there was a very, let's say it was a tense mood around the court. People quickly dispersed to their homes, but Heliodorus was led away with I think actually of Rufus, his maker, and to be judged. And the next night, and you wake up. As you wake up, you I think you wake up to the same as you did the night before, which is the smell of dead people lying around the streets, sick. You hear people. There's not a lot of there's a lot of sounds in the city, as it usually is, but the sounds are different. It's wailing and screaming, and you're and not the normal sounds of people walking in the streets, if they're coming from traveling a long way, if you live near the city gates, or if you live in the baths where people are talking happily to each other, awaiting a warm, nice bath. This is not the mood that it's in the city right now. You all spend one blood to wake. Where do you wake Spuria?
I imagine maybe like a farm or something, right? Somewhere people wouldn't notice me.
Yeah,
Right?
I don't think there's like
Anything
farms
specific?
in the city, but
Okay.
but if you wanted to wake up a place that nobody noticed, you either, I mean, either you could be staying at someone else's place, or there's always the slums.
That's true. Could I be like just outside the city?
Yeah,
But
sure.
then I'd have to get back in, I guess.
Yeah, sure. You could. So you wake up in like it's a farmhouse very close to the city gate.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah. Do you slept in the barn or what?
I think just under the stars. So, I'm just a little more comfortable in nature.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just nice to get out of the city at night, or
Is it-
during the day, I guess.
Can I ask? Is it a livestock farm, or like are there like cuts of cows and goats and stuff like around?
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, maybe it's like a field or something, and I'm in the middle of the hay.
Yeah.
Hiding in plain sight.
Yeah, I think as you wake, you hear like the sounds of like a caravan of trading people closing up on the city gate. I'm sure that's your usual way of getting into the city. Where have you been for the last couple of weeks? Why haven't you been in the city?
Uh, I think I just have urges to get out, right? Like there's just too many people.
Yeah.
So I think I just wanted to be like take time to myself and like reacquaint with my own desires, and maybe study my craft some.
Yeah. And feed off the naive farmers, of course, who always want their fortune to be told.
Yeah, no one gets these farmers, so I guess I have to.
Yeah. Cool. So yeah, I imagine like we see you rise and like mix among the traders going into the city once more. So how about Sergius? Where do you wake up?
Sergius wakes up in his house that he owns, and he wakes up to the sound of Marcella, who is Heliodorus' sister. She's kind of like she's like preparing dinner, like downstairs in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. She cooks for all your employees in the baths. Yeah, I think you smell. I mean, I think the smell of the food is always good. She's a great cook. She takes great care of your people, but I mean, even you can smell the lack of ingredients in this one. Yeah, it's a lot of corn. corn
Yeah.
stuff, corn stew, all
And yeah, I mean that.
with some olive oil usually.
Yeah, the smell, the smell of her cooking. It used to bring, it used to bring a scant amount of joy to me. Like it reminded me of when I was, when I was human, and I would feast upon this kind of delicious food, and and I used to hang on to that. It helped me to those memories helped me to hang on to my humanity. But I wake today, and instead of being comforted by those memories, it angers me.
Mm.
Um, hmm.
Yeah. So Jacobus, where do you wake up?
So, well, my hunting grounds are at the city gates. So, I'm there fairly frequently, and there's actually um, there's a hidden grotto within the city walls itself, where where all the city guard all the I don't know if you had city guard in Rome, but whoever's responsibility it is for the gates knows not to go there.
Yeah. I think actually there's like I mean it's the catacombs.
Ah, are, are the are the catacombs pre-Christian?
Yes. It was in the
Okay,
catacombs the Christians were hiding.
I should know that. Oh yeah, well, I don't know if there's any tasty Christians around, but sure, yeah, plenty of space in the catacombs.
Actually I think it is. Like that's probably the prey that's easiest to get at night.
Uh-huh.
And
Right.
there's this cultist down here that they live here. Even like it's not very far from where you stay. There's this place of worship all on the ground. It's actually like quite big. It's not like the temples, but it has its own beauty. Maybe even for you.
Oh, which reminds me, maybe we should share our lore decisions with.
Oh yes, we can do that. I have even prepared for such a thing. Let's see.
Given that I may be encountering Christians.
Yeah. So these are our lore moves, which pretty much means that we chose some facts about how vampires actually work in this game. So you can have a look at them. I think I didn't do this as I should have right after the session, so I'm not completely sure if the last ones are the right ones, but I think so. The first ones are at least. But yeah, and I think you get
Posted somewhere.
Hmm?
Oh, I see them now. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was one on the hinder that you've left off, Mikhail, which was the entrance to someone's home. Like you need permission to enter someone's home.
Yes, that was right.
Right.
Good.
Huh.
That was cool. So yeah, I think as you wake, there is you find a letter on your like how do you have a bed, or do you sleep in a chest, or like in a hole in the wall? Like I mean, the catacombs had some of those. There was like graves there.
Yeah. Actually. I sleep in an area that's behind a large stone that no human would think of moving by themselves.
Like Jesus.
Sure.
Isn't that ironic, sleeping there? how does? Okay, so I think it's a bit.
I don't actually have a heavy Christian background, so Mike, if you say so.
I mean, I was just referring to when he was standing up. He was also behind a big stone.
Right. I guess they put him in they put him in a cave, right? And then
In a tomb.
3 days later he comes back.
Yes. Well, okay, so I think probably like it's outside there then, where it says your debt is forgiven, your relatives were delicious. Signed Augustus. So I think
I'm having a problem now that I've seen the lore moves. I don't see the relationship map anymore.
Yeah. I was just. Are you? Have you seen them all, Asher? No.
Maybe I'll take a screenshot real quick, and then you can go back.
Oh, I mean, I don't mind that they're up there. I was just wondering if they're like. So you swapped one for the other.
Yeah.
Yeah, the different sheets on Roll20.
So I think the next thing, I'm just gonna smash cut a little bit here because I just wanted to see a little bit of how it looks in your regular life, but I also want to get the action going. So I think the next scene is in I think it's in the Palladium. You've all been called there from Augustus for the trial of Heliodorus, who fed on the dead body of Lucius. A transgression, of course, that although it has been known to be forgiven if it was a righteous cause, it's seldom gets branded as such, because vampires don't want it to make other vampires think it's okay to kill and feed on other vampires, because then suddenly chaos will break loose. People will kill each other. That's not good. At least not in public. So I think it's in the Palatinum, which is the largest of the 7 hills of Rome, and where the castle is located. It is as you all come up probably individually, but you all see like it's a very like magnificent view as you go up the hill over Circus Maximus, the big velodrome where they had horse races, and you smell. I think this is probably like the only place in the city where there isn't smell of rotten bodies. It smells like, and at this hour, I think it's like probably like 8 or 9 in the evening, and the smell is of food, of cooked, of grilled meat, and mixed with like a little bit of sweetness, maybe grapes, maybe. I mean, it smells good. If you were someone who ate food still, you would have water in your mouth. I don't know if you can still do that. And you even hear the sound of some people laughing. Seldom sound for sure these days. Who is the first one to arrive? It's not it's not Sergius. I think actually maybe because I think actually let's see. I want to see maybe Rufus with Sporia. Actually, I think as you prepare to go to the Palladium, you get you see a familiar face as you enter the gates of Rome, and it's Rufus. His face is as unfriendly as you remember it. he has like a big scar over his left eye, which is like pretty much just a hole. And he, oh yeah, right. I'm the only one who is on the relationship map. And he kind of, I think you kind of like notice him just at the corner of your eye, like almost grinning at you, with his arms crossed, like leaning against the gate. And he like, what do you do, Spurrier?
Okay, so Rufus isn't one of the players. Oh, that's my patron.
That's your
or the
maker.
Yeah. I think I'll jump out, right? Because we're at the gate, like this is some sort of check or something, and go over and be like, "Do you need, do you need anything? Do you need my paperwork?" Or
I think he like kind of like scoffs a little bit. I think, is that how you greet your maker, Spurrier? You always look like you have something to hide.
maybe I do. You always look so welcoming and friendly.
I think he kind of he smiles a little bit at that and says, "Well, maybe that's why we're such a good match." And he like, I think you both know that that's not true. I think we already can establish that you're probably not like the best of friends, except having that relationship there.
So we're going to this trial.
I think he says, but nevertheless, you have proven useful to me, Spurrier, and I have a favor to ask you.
Ask away.
I want you to tell Augustus that his faith is death if he stays in the city. And he like, I think, as he says that, how tall are you?
Like 5'3" maybe.
He is quite a bit taller than you, and I think I imagine like he has a pretty like he has a presence like of the intimidating sort, and it like towers over you as he says that.
What was he asking? I think you cut out there.
He
Augustus.
That his faith is death if he doesn't leave the city.
Okay.
The disease is a omen, a clear omen. Tell him that. I will make it worth your while.
All right.
So technically what he's doing here is, if you do that, he will owe you a major debt.
Okay, without erase the debt I owe him.
Does he owe you?
You don't tutored me, right?
It's not a major debt. It's a minor debt. So you will you will have the leverage over him.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I think this will change the fates itself. Like, yeah, your your actions will change the future, I'm sure.
He smiles and says, yes, I hope I am not putting my faith in the wrong Sybil, but I've heard he's quite a superstitious type.
As I, yes, I think this will work.
And I think we cut there. So who do you come to the castle with, Jacobus? You're muted if you're talking.
Sorry. Well, on the way there, I would have been flanked by it since it's early evening. I would have been flanked by my two bludge slaves, Lucretius and Clea. Sorry. No, Cleo. Right, Clea is Doctor Strange. Um,
Yeah.
and though I don't think that they should be kind of in the square during the tribunal, so I'm going to have them wait wait outside. And when I get there, I would be I would be saying to, let's see, Sergius isn't there. I would probably say to Tullius, express that his pack master, which I don't really understand. Anyway, his pack master is no more, and I think this is going to go bad for Heliodorus. What do you think?
I think he almost growls at you mentioning Heliodorus. And he says, surely the wolves will be allowed to drink the blood of this Freya, and spits on the ground. There will be retribution.
I nod. I don't really have much more to say. Can I get some out of game knowledge about how this pack bond, like what do we know about the fact that Lartia and Tullius were in a pack and now their pack master is dead? Are they looking were they sort of ensorcelled? Did they want to be in a pack? Do you think they're looking to be in another pack? Do they have a connection because they're in the same pack?
Yes, they have a connection. It's kind of like I mean, it is Lucius was a wolf. So if you look at the wolf,
yeah, I probably should do that.
Character sheet, it says blah blah blah. The pack, you run with a pack of predators. So you pack shares a tight bond over common ambition or grievance. So yeah, they have had a very strong bond or something. And they also, there is of course the pack leader has a lot of leverage on them. So it can be a little bit of both, but anyway, I think we cut there, and we cut to Sergius. What is he up to?
So, kind of rewound a bit, back to the kitchen, where Marcella, Heliodorus' sister, is kind of cooking food.
Sure.
And I kind of, Sergius like kind of slides up kind of behind her and like puts one of his live kind of arms like around her waist and kind of hugs her to him. He puts his face in like close to her neck and takes a big whiff. And he's like, something smells delicious tonight.
Yeah, and I think she's like she has quite like round features. I imagine her being she's not like thick or anything. She's just has like a round face, and she smiles at you, very like a broad, very like she smiles with her eyes, if you know what I mean, and says, "Oh, this you're really a charmer, aren't you, Sergis? This is just," and she like sighs, "corn, water, and oil. Oh yeah, I
Well,
managed to get a tiny bit of sugar."
I'm sure it's going to be a delicious feast, Marcella. But I want you to leave this pot simmering on the fire for a while because I have a present for you this evening. I have something I'd like you to see.
Yeah, and
Oh,
she like, "A present for me?
For you, yes.
Oh, show me.
Yes,
I can't wait for surprises. You know that."
mm. It's your long lost brother, Heliodorus. He's been in touch with me. He says that for one night only, he's back here in Rome. I'd like to take you to meet him.
What? Is he alive?
He's alive. He's back. Wouldn't you
Oh,
like to see him again?
oh, take me to him, please.
Hmm. Yeah. And
Really, he's alive, and she's just like gazing out and into the air for like just a second, and she's like, "I can't believe it."
and I'll take her. I'll take her, and I'll lead her through like the, the streets of Rome, like towards the where the trial is happening. And every step of the way, all I can think about is how I was like humiliated by Heliodorus last night in front of Claudia, and I'm gonna show him. I'm gonna show him tonight.
Oof, oof, cool. I think we see all the three of you in the shot as we are in the. Yeah, you wanted to feed, right? Spuria.
yeah, because that's how I got my visions, and I'm not probably hungry, but
Cool. So yes, you are you don't have a hunting ground, so you are at risk. But where on the way, or how do you go about it? You're with Rufus now. How do you go about doing that?
hmm. Um, well, you said there was like a wagon coming into town or something. Maybe we could just hitch on another one of those, and I can feed on someone on the way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure. I mean, yeah, we even have who was yeah. You're actually in Jacobus's territory right now.
Yes, which you've been warned, and I know that you're there, and you've been, and
Are
you
you
know
there?
my
You're like
territory.
under the city, right?
Well, no, that's where I sleep. But my territory is the area by the gates. So the city gates, the inevitable tavern, the inevitable inn.
Yeah, I
That's
thought we might run into each other. So
I mean, are you there now though?
well. I mean, I got up because I knew that the thing that's happening tonight is this tribunal in the Palladium. Um, I kind of wished I'd grabbed a snack. I don't hunt in the catacombs because they're kind of I just sort of they're sort of an extra thing. There's this cult down here, and if the cult members notice that they're disappearing one by one, they're probably going to go somewhere else. So I'm actually happy to have them around in case, um, you know, I need a I need a lot of blood confined in space all at once or something.
I mean, if you wanted to interfere in this, you can always meddle. That's always a possibility. But for now, I'm just gonna let Spuria hunt. And if you want to meddle, you can meddle.
Hunting in my territory.
Yes.
Um,
But yeah, let's describe what Spuria does first. So you go after this these people on the wagons that are coming through the gate, right?
Yeah, I think we'll get in the back, and they're probably a lot of similar like vagrants going in and out of the city. So I'll try to find one of those and get close, and then dig my teeth in. Right?
Cool. And I think like it's quite like a relatively well lit area for being. I mean, it's just by the gates.
I would like
That's
to
true.
meddle.
Yeah. Let's wait just a second, and then I think like when you how do you look, Spuria?
I think I'm a little like worse for wear. Like I have sort of tattered clothes and like I have my hair wrapped up around my head.
How do they see that you're a seer? Because everyone can see.
I think I just have different like trinkets with me, right? Like they wouldn't have any other use otherwise, unless you have certain powers.
Yeah, and I think like I actually think that when they see you, they get scared, and they like you hear. I think actually one of them takes like a cross out, and like says, "I don't believe in your machinations." And now we can just look at the moves here. So you may choose a number. If you look at the basic move sheet, you may choose a number of options up to your status, and your status is Faria, so that's
Is
1.
0? Okay.
So if you hunt on your own hunting grounds, you could have chosen another one, but you don't. And you may choose an additional option for every 1 blood you spend on this move.
I think I'll stifle my victim's screams. That sounds good.
Yeah. Cool.
At least they're not making noise.
So Jacobus, how were you? Because I have a like, how would you meddle in this? Because are you there? How would that look like?
Yeah, I don't know. Given the distance of the gates from the Palladium, and the fact that I was already kind of on my way there for the tribunal tonight.
I mean, you will know because they only have one option that they chose. So there's someone who's seeing that. I mean, yeah, Rufus is definitely seeing this happen. I think cool. So I think we'll just describe how this happens, and you will know at some point.
Okay,
but it's like a covered caravan.
I don't know if I can't meddle from a distance in any way.
No, I don't think that's even well. Do you have any way in the fiction to justify it? I mean, you do have your other Centurion guy, I guess.
Right? Who said that they're just? Well, I was thinking that a fun way to do it would be that to kind of to retcon is that they went they went back to my hunting grounds, and they saw this was going to happen, and then I inhabit Lucretius's body and meddle through that, because I can do that since he's my blood slave. And
Okay,
I don't
cool.
see anywhere where I have to be in his presence to establish that kind of exchange.
I think I'm gonna say that doesn't make so much sense. I think
Well, then I don't actually see a way to meddle. I could challenge.
then I don't think we do it. So I think you just you hunt them down. They do. I mean, they put the cross forward, and I think you just, how do you stifle their screams?
I was imagining like putting some of the stuff that I carry with me in their mouth, like the bag full of gems or something.
So yeah, so you put like the coin purse in their mouth or something, and they fight you. They try to like put the cross in your face, but it doesn't work because it doesn't actually work with crosses here. And you I think you see like Rufus's gaze looking at you from like a corner. I mean, you just went away from him and like it wasn't very difficult to track you down. And I think also it takes a little time before you're able to like get to feed on this woman. So if you look at the feed move, you can take 1 or 2 blood and leave them tipsy, take 3 blood, leave them ill, or 4 blood to leave them desperate, or 5 blood to kill them. And then you can choose a number of options up to humanity +1 for the consequences for them. So how much blood do you drink?
Well, then I also have a move, the gift. When you feed from your prey in the rapture of blood, you have visions about the future regarding you or the community. You can spend blood moment by moment to keep the vision alive. So I'm trying to figure out how much blood will get me what. All right, how much blood to take from them, and then like how much to use on these visions. Since they already saw me, I'm thinking like 3 or 4 blood. Because I'm not trying to, like, I don't want to kill the person, but I also don't really care if other people notice as much. Obviously. Yeah,
so 3 or 4.
Sure. Go ahead and like freak people out of my hunting grounds. It'll come back.
Well, how much? I guess it depends on if I want to spend 1 or 2 blood on the vision, but I'm not sure what I'll get. So, like, what do I? So I'll take 2 blood for myself, and then did you want to like narrate the vision and see if I want to continue that?
Sure. So yeah, I think. So yeah, okay. So yeah, all right, cool. So I think you see. Give me a sec. Yeah, I think you see like it is an apple, and on this apple is like it's I think you see Rome, and then it's like zooms up and you see it's like an apple, and I think you see the apple rot like very quickly, and I think you see as the blood pulses in you, I think you see like the face of Augustus like materialize on the apple.
All right, I think that's enough to confirm what Rufus was saying, so I don't need.
Oh, maybe like Augustus's kind of like face like burrows out of the apple like a maggot, like that.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be disgusting.
Cool. And I think yeah, let's see at options here as well. So you choose 2 options. No, you have 3 options because your humanity is 2, right? You have callous.
Right. Humanity +1, 3. Okay. Stop being when you want to. So yeah, so I obviously did that one. And then I got one more. I'll go with the second one too. Resisting the temptation to terrorize them. I'm down for sport pleasure.
Yeah, but they remember, and you see like this. I think as you lift your face up, and I think we see your face with like blood running down from your mouth. And as we zoom out, you see like the 2 dots in the shoulder. And I think we cut there and for a break.
All right, great.
Cool.
Cool.
So we'll see each other in let's say is 35 enough to be back then, or do we want?
Yes.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, so like an 8-minute break. Yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
Cool.
All right. See you soon.
Oh yeah.
Hey, welcome back. So is this your new flat?
Yes. Still a
Oh,
mess, but
lovely view. I love those like floor to ceiling windows.
yeah, it's nice. Very nice and light.
Mm.
So yeah, I'm very, very, very happy about it. Actually, it's in a pretty nice, well, not nice part, but it's a central part to the things that I actually do. So
Mm.
yeah,
Cool. Are you still in Oslo?
yes,
Okay, nice. Yeah, I'd love. Yeah, I've been to Oslo like about 3 years ago, and like the color that really deep, vibrant color of blue, like when the sun sets, is like amazing. I absolutely love it.
yeah, it's a nice city.
Yeah.
I lived abroad I lived in Copenhagen and I in some months in Germany, and I'm like, I didn't like Oslo very much when I moved here the first time, but
Mm.
because it's in the winter, it's very cold and
Yeah,
dark.
it was around Christmas time when I visited. No, actually, that's a tell lie. It was on New Year's Eve. I visited on New Year's Eve,
Hmm.
which was pretty crazy. Like when at midnight, everyone goes out and lets off all the fireworks in their like tuxedos and stuff. Very funny.
Yep, yep.
How cold does it get in Oslo in the winter?
I mean, uh, it makes it sound colder than it usually is, but maybe like the coldest day of the year is maybe minus 20 Celsius can
Okay.
be. I mean, it can be colder. Usually, it's not. I mean, I think the coldest was last year was like 18, minus 18, which is cold, but yeah.
Yeah, it's a little bit colder than where I live. We've had um, we maybe like 10 degrees Fahrenheit colder than our coldest days the past 2 years.
Yeah, we had some cold winters now actually. So yeah, it's a thing. I'm not a very big fan of winter, but I mean, guess can't win them all. So yeah, I think now we're all back. I think the next scene starts when you are all at the palace. I mean, this is not like it's not like the throne room or anything, but it's definitely like inside the palace, in like a I don't know. I think maybe it's I think actually it's like a pool there. It's not for bathing. It's just you know a sign of people being rich because they have water that they can have in a pool that is clean, and regular people don't have that. I think there's a lot of like mosaics all around. It's very like richly adorned, and I think it's like this. Uh, it's like this pretty like big uh, chair. It looks a little bit like a very wide bar stool, a little bit, and a little lower. Like it doesn't have like a back, but it's like in front of the pool, looking over the view of Circus Maximus. And you're all waiting there. I mean, it's obvious that this chair is some place that Augustus sits watching over the city, and nobody's sitting there. So the like absence of Augustus is pretty like I mean, it's very remarkable because nobody's sitting there. Um, I think you're probably the one who arrives last, Spuria, together with, and I think like just 5 seconds after you, Rufus arrives, and I think he gives you a look uh, as he walks in.
Yeah, is Rufus the one who's going to tell me that I was poached on, or do I just know that, or would I just know that from my own resources?
Um, I mean, you will know later. I mean, it's gonna cause like a little ruckus that people. I mean, I think let's just say that the awareness of your hunting grounds go down. What is the awareness that you have on your hunting ground now?
Oh, the awareness, that's a thing. Sorry.
Yes. They are now more aware that there's supernatural or predators on the
That's
loose.
probably suspicious now.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, okay, there we go. Well, no, they were already suspicious. Now they're vigilant.
Yeah. Okay. So we can look at how that actually looks when we get there. But for now, I think where are you in the room? Yeah, you arrive with Marcella, Sergius, and I think.
Oh, that's interesting. Is Marcella is a human, right?
Mhm.
Yes. It's Heliodorus' sister.
Yeah, and I think you see, oh man, yeah, I think like as you come into the room with her, I think you see Tullius. He turns towards you, and you can see like this, the anger. Like it's almost. I mean, it's a mix of anger and hunger in a way. I mean, he is less human than you. Let's just say it like that. It's pretty obvious to you. And I think like as he gives you that look, there's a door that opens, and I think you see Augustus comes out with uh, two people that probably also are humans, but bound in loyalty with blood, holding Heliodorus. He's chained in both hands, and it's almost like I think dragged in between them, and you see, I think Heliodorus, like the first one, he connects has eye contact with is you, Sergius, and he gives you like this like very short like sad look, and then sees Marcella, and I think you see him like I think he I don't actually think he looks angry. I think he almost like looks like he wants to hide.
Yeah.
Like he coils backwards, trying to like. How does Marcella look when she sees him?
I imagine like the first thing when she first sees him, it's like she's jubilant. She's really happy. She's like, oh, my brother, he's alive. And then when she sees that he's being like kind of led out like to this, and something really bad is obviously going on. Maybe like she kind of starts to panic.
Yeah. And I think like as she does that, you see like first you see like Augustus comes out and like says, and I think he looks at Tullius. Tullius looks at Marcella and you, and Augustus says, so the transgressions of Heliodorus, like he starts like doing this formal I am judging this person spiel, and I think like you see Talia starts laughing and looking at between like Marcella and Heliodorus. Is there anyone else doing something right now?
Who is Marcella again? I don't see them on the
That's
character map.
That's the sister of Heliodorus, who is on trial for killing and drinking the blood of another vampire.
Yeah, but basically, Asher, what happened in Heliodorus had a sister, and when he became a vampire, he didn't want his sister to know. So I was like looking after her and basically like keeping up the lie for Heliodorus, saying that he'd gone like overseas. He was like, fighting in a war or something like that. And I was like looking after her for him. And now that Heliodorus has fucked me over, I'm gonna fuck over his sister in front of him.
And now she's in a room full of vampires. So
yeah.
If it were, since it was okay, I thought it wasn't okay to bring to this. So if I can retcon a bit, I have Cleo here, and I've left Lucretius back at the hunting grounds.
Sure. Cool. Yeah, I mean, it's not unusual to bring like blood slaves and stuff, but maybe this is a bit more unusual. And I think you see Augustus like. I think his face stiffens. I think probably the one noticing that is Spurria, because you have probably your attention more on Augustus than what's going on, given the earlier conversation. And he says, "What are you laughing of, Tullius? Is this funny to you? The blood of your dear Lucius being spilled and nonetheless drunk by a what now? A Faria." And I think Tullius responds, That's his kin. I can see it. And Heliodorus, he I think now is becoming angry, like trying to like get out of the chains, attacking at the other guards. What do you do?
I imagine like Marcella is starting to panic here, and she's like, "What's going on? What's going on?" And I'm gonna like take her face like in my hands and stare like deep into her eyes. And I'm gonna say, I'm gonna like compel her, basically, captivate her with my mesmerizing eyes, and stroke her face gently and say, "Yeah, I've brought you here to be reunited with your brother, one last moment before you die. It's my gift to you, my darling. I just want you to watch for a while. Just watch. Just take it all in."
And I say to Clea, I brought you here to just remind you of the savagery and the savagery and power of my people.
Well, I think that's going to be successful. So, Claudius, you choose on the options on the captivate move.
It actually says the GM chooses a number of options equal to humanity +1. So I have humanity? My humanity is 3, so that means I get all 4 options by the look of it.
You do. Oh yeah. So I think you see her like she. I think she calms down, and I think you see her face. Like, I think her face is I think you see her eyes just like kind of like it's almost like just staring like straight at. She doesn't move. Her pupils were like darting about, being very like afraid, and now it's just like she's calm, looking in your eyes. She turns around and she says, "Well, for you, Sergius, I will do it."
Oh, you won't just do it, my darling. You'll enjoy doing it.
Yeah, and I think Augustus like there he's still like looking at Tullius for like a second and then says, Heliodorus is sentenced to death, to beheading by axe, and to with a stake in the heart. And I think by Tullius and Larita, who were so dear to him, who will take the axe and who will take the stake. And I think you see like Heliodorus like scream, and I think almost, I mean, I don't know if vampires cry, but it maybe a little bit.
Huh.
Is there anyone who's doing anything?
I'll sneak a word into Tullius's ear. Then I'll be like, of course, lover. I understand you're a sensitive soul. If you do not wish to engage in this senseless violence, then I have a pawn here who will be more than willing to perform the act.
Oh.
Huh.
Man, I wonder if this is worth. I think he looks towards you, and I think, I mean, I'm not sure. Maybe this is even. Are you trying to get something out of this?
I'm basically trying to show the rest of the vampires like that I'm not a docile little lamb anymore. I'm a fucking player in this game now. I'm going to step up and take Lucius's fucking place.
Cool. I think, because I think actually, I think I like to see the bargain move here actually, because he is definitely giving you that if he says yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think.
I was thinking bargain sounds good too.
Yeah. So let's read the move. When you bargain with a predator, describe the goods and services that you desire from them. So you desire them to let you show power in their place, pretty much.
Yeah.
They may refuse. If they refuse and you're a higher pecking order than them, they become a pariah. So
we're the same pecking order.
Yes, and then there is debts, and you owe him a minor debt. So I guess that makes him higher in the pecking order.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I think he like he does he like cocks his head and says, "You really want to," like, I think he like almost whispers because he's close to you. You really want to be a strong man, don't you, Claudius?
Wait, who's Claudius?
Yeah, the name's Sergius.
Sergius.
Oh.
Yeah.
I just said it because there's also a Claudius on the relationship map, but I think that's a typo for Claudia.
Yeah, I'm good with this. I've done this a few. Yeah, okay. So anyway,
so yeah, I'll say to him, I'll say, I am eternally grateful to you, Tullius, for introducing me into this eternal life, so I can be here by your side. But I'm no longer a child. I need to step out and become a true predator. Let me have this moment. Let me step out from your shadow. I'll still be there with you. I'll still be there for you. And I sort of stroke his face gently.
Yeah, and I think you see his like his face change a little bit from like the anger to a hunger you know very well. And I think he says very well, Sergius. I will give you this moment. But no, when the time comes, I will come and claim what is mine.
Cool. So does that count as like 2 minor debts, or does the minor debt get bumped up to a major debt?
No, this is definitely a major debt.
Sweet.
On its own.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm happy with
that. Cool. So I think like they come with like the stake. I think he says, Surges will take my axe. And I think Larita like looks over at him like a little like strangely, like, what are you doing? And a gasp goes to the crowd. What are you other two up to? This is an opening if you wanted to do something, possibly Spuria.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have like the fates start to take control. Like I'm shaking a little, and like my eyes roll back, and I'll be like, "This will be your downfall, Augustus. It's coming."
Cool. Are you so? What are you trying to? Are you trying to convey this this deal you had with Rufus?
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, I also did see a vision about it.
Yeah, I think.
I don't
So,
think
how
I
do
got an
you
audience.
convey it?
Like what exactly do I say?
No, well, yes, I think well, no. How do you try to make it convincing? Do you do it with your vampire powers to make it like a flaunt, or are you trying to captivate him or dominate him, possibly? I mean, there's different ways of convincing him that this is true.
Right, I'm not super familiar with everything.
Yeah, no, take your time. I think like flaunt is just pretty much like if you want to add the special effects. I don't know what that would be,
Yeah,
but
I think that's more of a flaunt, just to make it seem like this is actually the fates talking and not just me.
yeah, cool. How does this sound or look when you do this with your flaunt?
Yeah, I think like my body is shaking a bit, and like my eyes roll back, and I get like this deeper voice or something. And like I'm pointing at Augustus.
What do you say?
Like, this is the beginning of the downfall of the empire.
Cool. So I think, yes, I mean he's 100% gonna meddle with this. I'm pretty sure about that. I think we'll cut back and like because you get the axe. So just what do you do? You hear like this in the background, but I think like in this moment it's just like when Spuria is starting to gurgle.
Yeah, I take the axe, and I got the axe in one hand, and Marcella's hand in the other, and I sort of go up to where Heliodorus is kind of chained. And I'm going to say to everyone, yeah, this pariah wretch in front of us, he treated me, a vampire who is higher in the pecking order than him, with disrespect and disdain. And for this, I will not only see to his death, but I will see to his dishonor in the grave by passing this axe to his own flesh and mortal blood, his sister Marcella, who will gladly, upon my command, cleave his pariah head from his shoulders. And I place the axe into her hand and say, "It's time, my dear. Do it."
Okay, so yeah, I think this is a dominate for sure.
Hmm.
But I think you just do it actually. Well, as one of they read their playthings, blah blah. Okay, this is something else actually.
Yeah, she's already captivated by him, isn't she?
Yeah. I think she just
Yeah.
I think you see her hands trembling a little bit, and as simultaneously she lets her axe fall, and Larisha takes the stake and pierces Heliodorus' heart. And I think you hear in this exact moment, you hear like Spuria like gurgling, like the Empire will fall, and you see Heliodorus just like crumble into dust.
Yeah. And at the exact moment when like the axe kind of cleaves his head from his shoulders, I want to kind of like withdraw my captivation on her. So she's suddenly like back fully in her head and sees exactly what she's just fucking done.
Yeah, and I think you hear like this. I think you hear this like intense scream, and then she just faints, I think.
Oh no, she's gonna faint straight into my arms. I'm gonna sink my fangs into her neck.
Oh man, you big Mino.
Yeah.
Sounds like you're pulling for monstrous.
Yeah, I think it does. Well, you can feed.
Yeah, I'm feeding.
You can take the blood you want, and I will cut back to you. But first,
Hmm.
I think I'll as Heliodorus turns to ashes. You scream this out, and I think you see Augustus like turn toward you, Spuria, and you see I think you see like Rufus. He's like standing next to like a column next to the chair of Augustus, like looking at it for a second, and then looking up and looking at Augustus with like a calculating face. And I think you see I think Augustus looks over at no, I think yeah, Augustus looks over at Rufus and looks over at you and says, "You worms." And this is definitely like a medal move to see if you actually do this. So how this works is that to engage in the medal move, I mean, you all can actually participate. There's can be more participants in this.
Who is meddling with whom?
Augustus is meddling with Spuria, who is trying to tell Visions about his demise.
So Augustus's goal is to interfere with the
Yes.
the Sybil state.
Yes.
Okay.
So all meddling predators has to put one blood on the table to even participate in the medal move. So I'm gonna do that for Augustus.
Okay. I need to know. So Rufus has not yet mentioned to me that I'm sorry, Asher, I forget your character's name. That Asher was poaching on my grounds, because that will make a difference on my decisions.
Maybe I think let's say that in this moment your centurion shows up and whispers something in your ear at this convenient time.
Okay, great, thank you.
And I think you see also, I mean, I think the one who is watching this, who is the one of you who's I think maybe this is Jacobus who's watching this most intently, because you're not involved in either trying to dethrone the princeps or convincing the sister of
Right.
that stuff.
The only thing that Jacobus is kind of even passively doing is he's looking at how since Tullius is he's looking at Lartia's reactions to Tullius, to the things that are happening with Tullius.
Yeah. I think she looks almost a little sad, but then for like a second, and then you see that she turns her face and looks over at Rufus, and I think you see this all over the room. I think you see people turning towards someone, all of them. This is definitely like a moment where you can hear a nail drop.
Okay.
And I think you see Larisha is turning towards Rufus. That's what you notice. Yeah. So let's. Who is in the middle here? You are.
Yes.
Yes. So you can both take 1 blood. This is going to be going to be spent, and I'm gonna do it for the ones of the NPCs who are in play. It's
Right,
Augustus. Let's see. This is almost, I don't know if any of you have played Burning Wheel, but this is a little bit like a Duel of Wits, a little bit. Yeah, cool. So yeah, I have it. So yeah, and I think Rufus, he says, surely the sickness must be an omen. I have gathered a colony of lepers for sacrifice to rid us of this disease once and for all. This is this must be over. We must have competent leadership. And what do you say, Jacobus? How do you get involved into this conflict?
I say, I think I doubt the veracity of this vision, and Rufus, you know, the humans here might admire your commitment to saving people by getting rid of the plague. It seems curiously publicly spirited to me. I have never been more pleased with the leadership of our princeps.
Yeah, and Augustus, he says, curious how the maker of the vermin Heliodorus, who is just slain for drinking the blood of one of us, is going to speak up at such a time. Isn't it strange? What a coincidence! And he raises the bet with 5 blood, and I think you hear like the mumbling of the others.
Oh, was that a possibility at that point when I was speaking? So I'm gonna raise in like 3. on Augustus's
No,
side.
no. He the one who's making the metal move is the one who starts the betting.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
So yeah, we go around to Spuria. What do you do? So at this point, you can either call the bet using the blood that has Augustus has raised, or you can fold and let the consequences be as they may. You lost this, or you can raise, which is raising it with more blood.
I'm cut out for a second, so I missed. How much did he raise it?
5.
Okay, that's a lot. So what was the first option?
You can raise, call, or fold. So pretty much
Options?
poker. So how it works that if you call, I mean, others can raise, but let's see how that's gonna. This is a little complicated. So yeah, if you call, you spend the blood. If you raise, you don't use the thing you raise it with until someone else's call.
Okay, I'll raise it again by 1.
What do you say?
I think I'm just gonna be like, what? Like, what are you talking about? I wasn't there for the vision, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I have seen this in other places too. You know, that room is rotting. It's not just this. There are a bunch of different ways.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, cool. So Jacobus, it's now 6 blood to call.
Yeah, I'm gonna call and raise 1. So I guess that means we add. So I add my 7 plus Augustus's 5, and there's a 12 on.
So you
on
call 6 and you raise by 1.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Just to be clear, what is there anything else that Jacobus wants to out of this conflict other than supporting Augustus?
No. I mean, just the consequences of supporting Augustus. I mean, my plan is to haul Spuria in front of Augustus for poaching on the hunting grounds that he gave me. So I'm supporting the regime and asking for law enforcement from it.
Yeah, I'm sure also more if in this conflict. I mean, it's a definitely a major debt if you actually come
Right.
true
If I
for
got
him.
a major debt from Augustus, that would be very pretty.
Yes. So yeah, I think yeah. So Rufus, I mean, he says with me as the princeps, we will no longer struggle with our hunger. The plague will be over. Isn't that what you all want? And I think he calls the 7 blood. So I'm gonna have to keep track here now because there's all of this.
Who's calling?
Rufus is.
Rufus.
And also keep in mind that if you are going under 3 blood, then you're starving and you will lose control of because you're so hungry.
Oh, wait. Then I can't call.
I mean, That
So
is
I mean, you can either say I made a mistake and I went all in down to 1 blood. I could, at that moment, just grab my blood slave and drain a couple blood out of him. So I'm back up to 3.
I'm gonna, if you do that, I think I'm gonna say that you drain him, and he becomes a vampire.
Okay, well that sounds interesting. So I get all 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
7, 1.
Yeah, and I think he just like falls to the ground, and I think you hear like this. I mean, this is also not something you're supposed to do, right? Just like making a vampire without permission. So, but I mean, in this bigger place, it's not really like there's bigger things at stake. I think. Huh. I wonder if. What does Augustus do? I think he also calls. So what happens then? Let's see. Yeah, cool. So okay, so if the let's see, if your bet is called or vice versa, you both get something and give up something. You if you fold, you lose. I think is he willing to? I don't think he's willing to fold. I think he says. He like slams his fist into like a column, and I think you see like it makes like a mark. He hit it pretty hard, and
I think Augustus and I are now betting together. Does if multiple predators act together against another, they add their blood bets together as a single bet?
Yeah, okay, but then also Rufus and Spurrier is doing that.
Right, but I guess it was I added in before Rufus added in. So would that mean that Rufus would have had to call the total of 12 that Augustus and I had bet together?
No, because Spurrier also bet before, and that's also together.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, I think actually he jumps at Rufus with his like grabbing for his sword, trying to like slay him. I would say. I think, yeah. So he escalates the conflict. So when if you want to continue to be in this conflict, it is a possibility. You keep the blood that's in the conflict from before, and you can be on if you wanted to. If not, it's going to be a conflict between Augustus and Rufus.
Rufus and Spurrier.
Yeah, Rufus and Spurrier and Augustus, because I guess you don't have any. You have blood left now. I mean, the conflict, the parts are the same, but it's gonna. I mean, Augustus is running at Rufus, like screaming, "You traitorous vermin!" and like takes a sword and tries to like go for his head. I think. So I'm gonna, to make it a little more clear, I'm gonna read out the fight move. When you fight another predator, it's ugly, desperate struggle for life and death. All warring predators must bet as much blood as they dare, in secret. In Then in unison, all predators reveal and spend the blood they bet. If multiple predators band together, which is the case here, if you want to add something to the... Well, you're all in the bet together, either way. But you can choose not to bet if you want to. They add their blood together as a single bet after revealing. The predator of or band of predators who spend the most blood prevails. So what we'll do now, the blood that is already spent, it's already on the table. And Augustus, he needs to call another 2 blood because he bet 5 and we have 2 more blood on the table. Together, and that he's together with Spuria as a band, and then there is Rufus and Spuria is, and then it's Augustus and you, Jacobus. Are we all understanding what's going on? Because it's a little confusing.
Not exactly.
Okay,
no one else is backing up Augustus here?
You are, possibly. You're in this together.
Right, well, like maybe like Tullius, who like owes a major debt to Augustus, or Claudia, who owes a major debt to Augustus.
Oh God, I think that would make it super confusing if people start jumping in now.
Yeah, I don't think, because if they owe debts to Augustus, it's only good for them if Augustus dies. Yeah, and also that. So I think it's going to be like this. So what is going on is that we have 2 pools of blood. The one who has the most blood in the end wins. In the pool of Rufus and you, Spuria, there is 2 more blood than it's currently in Augustus and Jacobus's pool. So we bet in secret how much blood we want. I bet for Augustus and Rufus, and you 2 bet on your own. The one who has the most blood in the end wins. And when you win, you get to decide who lives or dies, and so on and so forth. So, do you understand it now?
So, what happens after we bet? Like, are we called on the bet and have to pay this blood, or?
Yes.
But we already are higher.
Yes. So the side of Augustus and of Jacobus needs to bet 2 more blood to win than you. So you already have a 2 blood advantage.
All right. So I think I'll just stay here.
Okay,
but I do.
Okay, so I'm gonna bet for. Okay, so let's see. Just gonna look at the blood here.
Remember to use Roman numerals.
Okay, I'm gonna try to do that. That limits my options considerably. Okay. I can't even. Let's see. Okay, so on 3 we reveal our bets. Jacobus and Spuria. 3, 2, 1.
Ha! But it's in a mirror. Sorry about that.
So 2.
Yes.
Yes. So that means that Augustus and Jacobus wins.
Woohoo!
And yeah, so you can describe how when you win, you let's see, you decide the fate, life or death of each predator involved in the conflict. If there's a tie, the GM decides each predator's fate. So there's not a tie. Let's see. Okay, so you're still in the. Are you still in the conflict though, Spuria? Doesn't really say here. It's a little confusing, this move. Okay. I'm gonna say you aren't because you didn't bet blood in the fight, I think. And the fiction doesn't really demand it here.
All
So Jacobus, what happens to Augustus? Do you spare him? Or does he die?
I thought Augustus was on the winning side.
Oh yeah, I mean Rufus. I mean, oh man. My confusion is real.
Just checking these.
So if they survive, pretty much they will be.
So I think what I'm going to do is, since I'm kind of in this somewhat sycophantic role here, I am going to say to Augustus that I suggest that we should do what you want. However, I would suggest that Rufus be downgraded and I be given his hunting grounds.
I think you see, like, I mean, as you say that, I'm sure that Rufus is lying in like a pile on the floor with Augustus above him with a sword, and he's like ready to strike at him, and he turns towards you, and says, "You suggest that we spare him for what?"
I suggest that you decide. However, if you choose to spare him, that was my suggestion for his status. I care not for his life. I'll just what the hell? Let's get some of this.
Cool. Like, I think he smiles at that and like takes the sword and pierces his heart, and you see Rufus's body turn into ash, and there's like this. I think this is like this wind, like a small gust of wind blowing through the pavilion at this exact moment, and the ashes spreads like all over the water, the clean, like very nice and clean blue water. And I think we cut there. I think actually this is a good time to do the end of session things.
Yeah, we had a lot of action there. I think there's some big changes in the status of things. So yeah,
I do think so. Yes, and we get to let's have like a small chat about which time period we're going to next. I'm gonna see, is there any of, because I have had a very shifting costs in this last few weeks. I'm not sure if who of you is actually in my next session here. Just Asher.
Yeah, I had to drop from the next session, but I will be in the fourth one.
Okay, so I guess I'm gonna suggest a thing to then, Asher, and then we'll see. But first, the end of session stuff. Let's see. I'm gonna find that. Man, that medal and fight move can be a little bit complicated. Let's see, I'm just gonna find it in a book here.
Yeah, I didn't have a chance to look at that at all.
I mean, I had a lot of looking at it, and it still is confusing, especially because when there's more players and stuff in it.
Yeah, I wish there were page numbers on each of the pages. It would be helpful because I just printed the whole thing out.
Yeah. So here. Okay. Let's see. Just give me a sec. There's some. Where is this end of session thing? Here. Yeah, right. Okay. So how it's on page 26 and 27. Let's see. Yeah, it's not always the easiest book to find your way around in, but I guess that's the life of being a role player. So, yeah, it's on page 26 and 27. So what we do now is that humanity and predator norms, blah, 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 house status. Where is, does it? I'm sorry about this.
That's okay.
Okay, so so your humanity is in constant flux, always reflecting your current attitudes. You choose your humanity when creating a character. After your humanity will potentially change at each session when other players will judge your humanity. So let's start with our friend and obvious candidate Sergius.
Ha! Do I get to state my case? Do I get a defense?
Yeah. Recap your character's defining moments for the other players as a reminder. Then the other players talk it over and put your humanity to a vote using the definitions in the table above to decide how your humanity changes or if your humanity remains the same.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think I showed that Sergius showed that he was ready to sort of step into the power game of the vampire sort of society. By basically, I mean, what he did there, he used a mortal as like played with them as like a pawn to basically show to show like his power, and it was Heliodorus who was a pariah, a criminal, basically. So I don't think it takes him all the way to monstrous. I think that's purely like in the callous kind of sense there. Because hey, maybe he'll feel bad about it in the morning.
Yeah. So what do you think, Jim and Asher? Which definition do you feel like this behavior warrants?
Well, it seems to me that having just read these a little while ago, this sounds like monstrous, particularly the part where you're like toying with this mortal, rather than just feeding on her, toying on her, and then killing her, and I guess killing her without permission.
Oh, I didn't kill her.
You didn't drain her?
No. I no. I was taking her down to the one before she dies.
Oh.
Because she's way more interesting and she's still alive.
Right. Well, yes, that's a huge line in the Marvel universe. Did you maim them and permanently disfigure them for life? Yeah. Okay. Well, that's okay as long as you didn't kill them.
Yeah. Because I quote from the rule manual. The description of callous is you might maintain casual relationships with prey, but you generally view them as pawns to be manipulated in the nightly game of chess.
Well, I guess okay. Well, I'm all right. I'll go with callous since you actually used the word that I used.
What do you think, Asher?
Where is this in the book?
It's in page 25 and 26.
And monstrous is avoid relationships with prey. Uh,
Simply tools to
yeah,
be
so
obtained.
yeah, I guess I would go with Callus also, because
Yeah, I think.
you're
Yeah.
not more of a monster. You're just using people.
Hmm.
I mean, it's borderline a little bit.
That's true. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
definitely borderline.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess you're callous now.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. That's good.
Mhm. And what about Jacobus? What was your defining moments during this?
Um,
I mean, you
well,
did drain and kind of kill someone.
right. However, if I did not do that, I would have been starving and lost control, and probably would have done that anyhow. As I read the definition of being starving, um, I would have actually gone out and killed, or maybe even killed more because I was so hunger driven. Um, so I was steadying the course. The whole point of my getting involved in that conflict was actually to just um, protect my hunting grounds. And I'm already going to have to um, see if there's a way to deal with the suspicions of the deal with the suspicions of the humans.
Yeah.
I'll have to invent a serial killer for them or something like that.
Yeah.
Have a
We'll
talk.
see. I think. I mean, that's gonna already because next time we'll definitely like jump in time. So it's gonna be taken
Right.
care of if
So
you're getting.
I would say still callous. I mean, he's still interested in his relationship
That's
with.
not your role to say. What does our other players say? Let's start with Asher this time. What do you think?
Um, uh, um, I'm not sure. It's kind of borderline again. I guess there aren't any humans involved, right? So that's what's tripping me up.
I mean, what was the name of your centurion? It was a human, it was just a blood
Right,
slave.
Lucretius and Cleo was there too. Actually, I brought her as a witness to sort of cement my domination over her.
Mhm.
Um, I guess I'll go with Callus also.
Cool.
So I was lenient before.
Yeah, you have to amp it up if you're gonna have any monsters.
That's true.
Oof, I feel dirty saying that. What do you think, Paul?
Yeah, I think that was a callous performance. Definitely not tipping it into the monstrous level. No.
Yeah, and lastly, what about our seer Spuria? What was your defining moment, Spuria?
Um, I feel like at the beginning, like just feeding off someone in someone else's uh, territory
Mm-hmm.
was pretty defining.
Yeah. So, what do you think about the status there, Jim?
Um,
I'm obviously humane.
um, I don't see you. I mean, other than the fact that you didn't kill that human that you drained when you were poaching. Um, I don't see a way to distinguish between humane and callous.
Yeah.
So I'm going to
I mean, in terms of that, like, if,
Even as callous. Okay. Hey, nat 20. So I'm going to say you're callous.
yeah, I think like if you want to move up to humane, you also have to do something that is actually humane to warrant that. Like it's a change.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Paul?
Yeah, definitely. I think humane. You have to actually show like compassion and empathy to Frey, and there wasn't any there just because you didn't kill them. So definitely, I think callous, the callous performance.
Cool. So yeah, then we have just one new status thing here. So the next thing we'll do is to plot and scheme, which is the like long term scheming of the vampires. So if you look at page 57 and 58, you will find it there.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, let's start with you then, Sergius. What are you up to? So I'm gonna start who's highest in the pecking order. Okay, so I'm gonna do. I guess that's. I should do this at NPCs too, I guess. Okay, so I'm gonna do Augustus then. He's the highest in the pecking order still. I think. I think possibly he's going to. What will he do? I think he will actually bolster Jacobus. So Jacobus, you gain a means and you gain a minor depth from them.
I gain a means.
Yeah, that's was it status plus? What is that again? Let's see.
I seem to have missed this in my cursory reading of what was going on.
Let's see. Very bad to call something means, which is a pretty usual word. Just write it down for now. I'll figure it out. We'll just do it for now.
Okay, so I should be writing down what about means?
You gain one means.
Okay.
And next in the pecking order is Claudia. Let's see. And Claudia, she is a sensualist. I think. Let's see. I think I want to use a sensualist thing.
I think I also activated the King's Seer move, which raises my pecking order.
Yeah, okay, cool. So I'm just gonna see. Wow, that entertain thing that the sensualist has is pretty good.
Yeah, you're right.
I think I'm gonna say that she is making peace. Let's see. She doesn't have a rival anymore, does she? She doesn't, because Rufus is dead. I think she's going to gentrify her area and improve the abundance of their hunting ground by one. And then Let's go for Sergius. What do you do?
Okay, so my status is currently 1, so
Mhm.
I can have double that for plots. Yeah, I can have 2 plots.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd like to gentrify my hunting grounds. Yeah,
Yeah.
by improving their awareness.
Mm-hmm.
And secondly, yeah, I'd like to entertain. I'd like to basically host a vampire soiree at the public baths, and invite basically all of the vampires to come and feed on all the unsuspecting patrons of the baths.
Mm-hmm. So you cause a patrician to lose their patrician status.
Mm. Who will that be?
I mean, there's only one patrician,
And who is that?
Claudia.
Uh-oh.
Well, you have a new rival. And you're a patrician.
Oh, it's not just a. Oh, it's enemy. It's not just a rival. It's enemy.
Wait. How is he getting to be a patrician?
It's a move from the centralist. If you look at page 57, it's the entertain one that's centralist only.
So yeah, I basically hold a party.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Yeah. For nightly play. Nice. So, and the next one in the pecking order here, I guess that would be Jacobus.
Uh-huh. So I have a major debt from Augustus. Is that right?
Yeah. You do.
That swamped. Is that swamp the minor debt to Augustus for the bolstering?
No.
Okay.
I mean, there are different things. Like major debt is just way more worth.
Sure. Okay. So my status, I think. Oh, wait, that's the status number right there. As a plebeian, my status is 1, and I can choose a number of plots up to double my status.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I am still. Let's see. So those are. Oh, I want to conquer.
Nice. So
I was thinking of conquering the where there's the vacuum right now.
yeah, there's a few actually. Like if you see there's also the Alta Semita, which
right,
is
had, and then there's the Templum Passus,
mhm.
and there's the ha ha. What do you think that is? The Calamonium, some neighborhood. Can I know which one? Can I know the status of them as hunting ground, of those 3 places as hunting grounds, or?
Yes, I know the ones for. Let's see.
I mean, I had Rufus's might be 2.
They are 222.
Okay.
And there's also the one. There's also the one from Lucius, isn't there? Who is also dead? Yeah, it's the Via Lata. And that one is 221. No, 121.
Right, and I think with this move, I can actually only take a hunting grounds that has the number of tags that are right for my status.
Yeah, so both the one that Lucius had, and also I think the one that's free would have those.
Okay. Is that 2 or 4?
Hmm.
Is that 2 or 4? That's the other one.
It's the Templum Passes, the slums.
Huh. Okay. Slums. Onion.
Yeah, and also Caledonium actually. They're all three of them.
Um. Um. Well, I've decided to be more more central. So based on that, I think I'll take the Templum Passus. Or I would like to conquer the Temple Passus.
Yeah. You do that.
And I guess I'd also do my nightmare only move.
Mm-hmm.
So why not just make it all worse? So I'm going to muckrake. I'm going to muckrake Lartia. So that means I get blackmail worthy information about her, which I guess we can figure that out offline.
Yeah, I'm gonna note that down. Let's see. Jacobus gains mail worthy information on Latvia. Cool. So, what about Spuria?
Well, I wanted to see if my move triggered King Seer. When you offer your visions to the precept, you gain patrician status.
Do
you think that counted as like offering my visions? Did I just like throw it in his face, I guess?
I mean, if we, I mean, you kind of did though.
Mm-hmm.
With the Apple thing. I mean, if you're gonna say the move is literally, then I guess yes, you did.
Well, I lose the status when they have no further interest in my advice, right? So maybe that, like, the fight kind of made it seem like he wasn't interested in my advice.
Yeah.
So I guess that wouldn't fire. So then I think we would be enemies.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a move for that. There's a thing for that. No, I don't see it.
To make enemies?
Yeah. Interfere. Decrease the means of another predator by one they become your rival.
Yeah, I think actually Augustus is your enemy now. I think you warrant that.
Okay, so I wouldn't need to do that here. So maybe I'll use that on Jacobus. Wasn't he helping? So I'll try to interfere with him too.
Yeah.
So you're going to try to interfere with one of my plots.
Yeah. Now that I see that you two are like conspiring, I think I want to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, so I guess you can strike that one means you noted down earlier. And now your rival with Spuria.
Okay, so he's knocking down the bolster that I got from Augustus.
Yes.
Is that right? Okay, great. Now we don't have to figure out what it meant.
I mean, I'm gonna do that anyway. I think I did look that up earlier because it was also confusing when I read it, but I forgot again. So good job. Cool. So I guess I think I'm gonna do the rest of the NPCs on my own because it's gonna be way boring to do that on screen, I think. And I think yeah, I'll that's the session. I will start next session. I think during the invasion of the barbarians. Somehow I'm not completely sure yet, but I will skip we will do like a time skip of like a maybe not so long actually. Like let's make it like 40-50 years or something, because it's quite immediately after that starts happening. But I'm gonna post in the chat about that, and also we're gonna do some character creation again next week because we have new players.
Yeah, I don't. I think I'm just waitlisted.
Yeah, you are for now. I'm not sure. We'll see. Like I'm gonna ask what was the one who took over your spot, Paul.
I think it was Airbash.
Yeah, Ibers. I'll ask him if he's gonna take that or not. If since he's dropped out in a few games from me, so
Okay.
maybe we'll see.
All right.
I gotta head
Yeah.
out. It was great playing with y'all.
Okay. Thanks, Asher. See you around.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Sorry, I had to drop from that, Mikhail.
No worries. I mean, you're my loyal soldier, Paul. I'll take that.
Oh, you get an invite to one of my pool parties, definitely.
Yes. Well, oh no, I didn't want that. Okay, well, we'll see each other on Sunday, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I'm very much looking forward to that.
Yeah, semi. Be great.
Yeah, cool. So maybe we'll see you next week, Jim. We'll see.
Sure.
Hopefully.
Can I ask you a question?
Mhm.
I can ask you a question after Paul. It's just a mechanics question.